Glenavon and have baled the little patch of grass that was over there. You can just see the green bales off in the distance. Green bales, not Green Bale, the former Farm Sim modder. I do miss that guy. He made some really nice looking maps. Not that I ever played any of his maps, but you know, they did look good. So yeah, we've got this field and the other pasture to do. It gets dark, or it gets light quite late on here, so we have made a start in the dark, and I am running the round baler extension today, which is not really in the spirit of hard mode, but is in the spirit of the fact that my brain hurts a lot. So it lets me play a more relaxed way whilst still not endlessly having to reverse. This field is much steeper than I thought. I think if I mow and bale this again, we probably need to go across the slope rather than up and down. Because we're going to end up with even more bales in the hedgerow, which is fine. As I said, the plan is to let these ferment in the field as well, because I'm not going to be doing much through the winter on here anyway, and then sell them as soon as they are fermented. We have so much feed that I don't want it hanging around, and the cash will be nice. You will or may have noticed that the money has gone up. Classic Mr. CDP or Cartech. That is because the DS Agri guys were super busy. There were quite a few that jumped on the server and they knocked out a bunch of different contracts. There was baling, not baling, there was root crop harvesting, ploughing and seeding. One of our tractors did have a quick trip down under and ended up upside down, and no, it was not Cartech. If I remember, there will be a picture of that as well. Yeah, so just going to crack on with this. I have not added in the premium expansion yet. I do plan to, and I'm curious if you guys think we should swap field 8 over to one of the root crops so we could do some harvesting with it. Again, it's not completely in the spirit of this Let's Play, but I think it might be good. So let me know what you think down below. The plan is to sell that crop off of the field. So yeah, and I'd probably look at leasing one of the pull behind harvesters or the 3.1. Obviously there aren't any period appropriate ones. I may or may not have tried to update the KS6B to harvest them, and it may not have worked. That was not one of the things that I did on day one. Honest. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Just trying to think what else. So I don't think I've spoken about it yet. Maize Plus does work with the premium. I always get premium and platinum confused with the premium expansion, but there are some slight issues at the moment, and those are being worked on. The guys are trying to fix them. Talking to Giants about how to try and fix them, and the two main issues are that the premium expansion adds an additional feeding category to horses for the root crops. Base game, it's really cool. You can feed them more stuff. With Maize Plus, that gives them a 5th slider, which is beyond the limit of the UI and potentially the game. So working on sorting that, or the clever scripting guys are working on sorting that and talking to Giants about how that could be done. And also there is the issue that it appears that the new crops are loaded after mods, and that means that they aren't available for the feeding. And again, the guys are working on a fix for that as well, and as soon as that is ready, there will be more information shared and it'll be submitted to ModHub, and we will all be able to take advantage of it. So that will be cool. The other job that we need to do today is to move the cows into the sheds. They have some feed at the moment because the grass grew overnight, and then I topped it up a little bit to level it out. So going to let them eat that. So they've got 11,000 litres of food left, but not that much that's actually going to keep them well sustained. So yeah, we'll be moving those into the sheds, which will be a bit of a change. It will mean we start getting more manure and slurry, which is good because we can stick that on the fields. And yeah, part of moving into the winter phase on here, we, as I say, depending on what we do with field 8, we will be harvesting that at some point. It's going to be a pretty big job. Yeah, still plenty to do. Actually, I was about to say that I don't think there's much left to do, but there is still plenty to do. Probably want to move all of the whole crop silage bales back to the yard at some point as well, so that they are available for us to feed, because I think we'll start getting through bales pretty quickly once we get into the winter, and mixing feed, because I think we're going to be on 2 or 3 mixes a day probably with how many cows we've got now. Yeah, it'll be good. We'll see what we show as we go through the winter time. If, like me, you quite often play with Outsound and use a round baler, then the round baler extension, I think it's called, is a great mod. What it does, you will see, is as we get close to being full, it slows the tractor down and then stops it to unload and then carries on. I may end up leaving this mod in. It's a really nice quality of life mod when you play without sound, because you can't hear when the buzzer goes off. And that means you basically spend the whole time looking at the fill level rather than actually, enjoying the visuals of playing the game. And I've got to say, autumn on here looks pretty stunning. It looks pretty stunning. So yeah. I'm going to say at this point, thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. Do really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. You are all awesome. And yeah, if you're interested in any of those, there are links below. And I did say that last week I would run the giveaway for the 5,000 subscribers. I haven't yet. I'm sorry. I kind of keep forgetting when I'm recording, and I haven't actually planned it out properly yet. So, did I say I'm running through another wave of headaches? So yeah, I'm gonna wait until my brain feels a bit less fried to organize that. So yeah, sorry about that. It's just kind of how things are. And if you're wondering why I keep stopping, I'm also in the middle of having a conversation with someone, so I have to keep stopping to chat to them. Bad timing. Field 7, well, little bit of field 7, pretty much done. I have no idea how many bales we've got for here. Count the little green dots if you're interested. There you go. Play it back in slow motion. Count the little green dots for me. If you do that, you get an internet cookie. So, yeah, they said I was chatting to someone. It's one of my work friends has messaged me, and it kind of can't say I can't really talk. I'm, pretending to be a farmer. I'm trying to multitask, but I'm trying to multitask on different computers, which is a bit of a faff. So we have field 2 left to harvest, and this is the one where I did the strange to me swathing. And thank you to Rural Pilot, who is a Kiwi farmer living and working in Canada, and one of the patrons. And he said that actually they used to do it this way when they had swathers where they couldn't lift individual rotors. So it wasn't crazy, although I'm not sure I like it. So we might go back to doing it the more normal way next time. But hey, it did the job. I think probably what I'll do was the way that I said about, and the way that Smock said he he has done it in the past in the real world, which is you row the headlands, you bale the headlands, and then you do the rest of it. And that's it's how they do it on a lot of the combining where I live. They will, you can drive around and see that a lot of fields have a combined headland that's either got a straw swath in it or got nothing, so they've baled it, and then waiting for the combine to come back and do the rest of it. So yeah, it is a thing. It is definitely a thing. So what we're going to do is stop here, let the bale wrap itself. I have it on automatic dropping. It would be really nice to upgrade this baler at some point to a bigger baler, because it only does 125 centimeter bales, so bigger would be better up, or getting a square bale wrapper, because we do have a square baler. So yeah, that might be one for August next year when we do the big kit upgrade. So, and it seems like we have a lot of money in the bank, but we do need to be thinking about the fact that I'm going to be spending probably, maybe £300,000 or £400,000 on equipment when August rolls around and we access the next decade of tech. So yeah, I wish there was like a savings account mod, so you could put money into the savings account so it doesn't show up in the balance at the top, but is available to you. That would be cool. That would be cool. I just need to try and make sure I don't spend it all. It's still not very light. I haven't been through yet, I don't think, and installed mods for next time. No, I'll do that just before. I think we're going New Holland. I think I've said that. I think we're going to go New Holland. I don't know if there are any New Holland combines from the early 2000s on ModHub. It'd be cool if there are, because at the moment we're in 90s. So we're going early 2000s next. So 2000 to 2009/10 is the plan. Yeah, we're going to swap to being blue, and a bunch of these will then be semi-retired, particularly as they're getting really high up there in hours. I don't think we're going to do what I did last time. Last time I went and brought 2 combines, 5 tractors. I think we brought the round baler as well. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be any of that crazy. The main things are going to be probably a big tractor, a medium tractor, so our kind of 2 mainline working tractors, the bale stackers, because they are going to be a thing, and maybe a baler that can do maybe a square bale wrapper, and then combine replacements. I think it's going to be in a way. It's annoying. Oh well. Anyway, I'm going to get a bunch more of this done, and I'll be back. Just finishing up the headlands of what they were. The second headland was a bit of a mixture of what felt like an up-down row with some random lumps of grass. You'll see as we come on to the short row here. Just been having a look at ModHub, and so far the only mod release for today is an update to one of Zoddlezox to basically remove it from ModHub, which is interesting. So I guess it conflicts too much with the premium expansion, and maybe he doesn't want to fix it. I don't know. I suspect we'll be seeing lots of updates. If it's kind of frustrating, I know, but if you're playing on a save and the premium expansion has broken it, either don't enable it for now, or just be patient. And modders need time to update mods and work out how to fix them. I'm kind of hoping, hint that someone who might be watching might update their bale bunker storage thingy, so that we can put root crops in that. But it was really weird, actually. I was messing around with mods and Maize Plus and stuff yesterday, and they couldn't get the fill types to work in Maize Plus, but they would work when I added them to a silo which had specifically named crops. So yeah, that's kind of weird. But anyway, I think that that bale bunker root crop storage thingy will actually be really good for the DLC because it gives us a cheap way of storing the new root crops. And the thing to bear in mind is at the moment when I'm recording this, it may have changed if they update the DLC. The only place you can empty the boxes from the harvesters that box is into a trigger like an animal pen or a sell point or a silo. So you can't empty them into a trailer or a feed mixer or a bucket. So having something like Cartex bale bunker thingy will be really useful. Particularly if you're having to use some of the smaller harvesters, because I think half of those box. I think there are 2 pull behind ones that don't box. Yeah. With the volume of crop you're going to get, and you probably don't want to keep the boxes around anyway, so that might be one for if you're just kind of selling off the field, I guess. We're going to end up with just a stack of bales at the bottom of the field, aren't we? Oh well. So, I did say in the last video I was going to try and do a live commentary on that one, and I didn't, so I thought I'd do it on this one. And basically, yeah, my brain's not up to doing much work this afternoon, so I'm doing a bit of this, and then I'm going for a run to try and clear my head. It's a beautiful blue sky outside. I'm guessing it's pretty cold, because it looks like one of those cold, clear days, and it'll be nice. It'll do my head a lot of good, I think. So I normally I run first thing in the morning. So most days I wake up at between 5 and 5:30, even without an alarm. I usually go for a run then because it's just it gets it done, and 2, Mrs. D is still asleep, and if I go after work, she's awake, and with her health problems, she's quite often asleep quite early, so it's the only time I get to see her. So, one of those things that it's why, like when I make videos, a lot of them I play on my laptop and then I do this little bit afterwards, and that's because I can sit and play for hours on my laptop while we're in the lounge watching telly, or if she falls asleep or whatever, and it doesn't interrupt things. So yeah, but it'll be nice to get out as long as my head's not too bad. Then it becomes hard, but hey, if everything was easy, everyone would do it, and I am determined, that didn't get pronounced properly, but I am determined to not have the headaches control everything that I do. So they took running away from me for several months in the summer, and I didn't like it, and they are not going to do it again. Within limits. So yeah, we'll see. So the rest of this week for me involves travel. I'm away tomorrow, overnight, back home Thursday morning, and then a bit of work, and then a bit of diddlying, hopefully. That other guy has convinced me that we need to do some stuff, so I have some stuff to do. Yeah, I think this video is going to come out on Friday, I think. Yeah, it's funny, I was talking about the expansion or the update breaking mods and maybe breaking people's saves, and I said this save, I did add the expansion to this save as a test, and it was all fine. Timberborn updated on Tuesday, Monday night or Tuesday it was, I think, and all mods dead again, and it's because the game doesn't inherently support modding. So there are some mods essentially which enable mods to work, and If those get broken by the update, no mods work, and your save game dies. So yeah, I think we should be grateful. And I know, I'm sure you're all typing now, if there wasn't mods, then the game would be dead and all that kind of thing. I get that. Yeah, I'm playing on a modded map with pretty much all mods. I get that. We are still, I think, lucky that Giants invest what they do in supporting modding. Yes, they benefit a lot from it. They get a lot more longevity, but equally, Timberborn benefits from mods, but the game doesn't inherently support modding. It's just they're a clever, determined people. And so, yeah, be grateful that Giants do what they do to support and enable modding. It's a good thing. We're making pretty good progress on how many bales have we made so far today. Bales. 46. Wow, that's pretty good. I hadn't actually noticed that. It tells you the stored bales and pallets. That's cool. Yeah, so we'll get this finished. We'll get the cows moved. Yeah. And that will probably be it for today, I think. So we've got 4 more rows to do. Yeah, and then, as I said, I'm going to sell these out of the field, so not too worried about where they end up. They're going to need a bit of time to ferment, and hopefully we will get a good price for them. We still, I haven't opened the maize silage clamp yet, so we've got all of that still. We've got all of the whole crop silage. We've got loads of grass silage bales. We do not need more. Is this rain going to hit? I've got loads of time. Let's have a quick peek in the sales. I mean, not much comes up in the sales that's good for compactor. Might be very cheap. It's got a lot of hours on it. If we were later on, then that would be good. I saw a Deutz wrong year by a long way, so no, not really. We'll keep checking occasionally. I don't check as often on here as I do on Saxthorpe, because on Saxthorpe we are so dependent on the sales at the moment. We've got all of the kit we really need on here. Probably more that we need, to be honest. The things that we could probably do with are, I don't actually remember what. Let's just do that. I don't remember what planter we have. Oh, we have that one, yeah. We could do with a different planter and probably cedar, to be honest. They're not very good at getting around the map on here, particularly the planter. Yeah, we could probably do with changing those to something that folds and so is a bit smaller and a bit easier to get around the map. Don't know if we have anything installed that would be interesting. Not really. Yeah, something I need to have a think about. I'm trying to get the planter to contracts was a nightmare. It's as wide as the lanes are, so getting it around to our fields is kind of okay because it's all pretty short drives. But getting to contracts further away was hard work. So definitely something that I think we probably want to, certainly maybe when we do the kit refresh at the very least, we will need to look at changing them. I'm not sure, and I've mentioned it before, and it's because I think so far ahead. It's November in game, and I'm thinking about August next year, and whether we move maps, and that will depend on what maps are available to a large extent. But that will be the 2 game years that I kind of said that I would do. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. I might stay on here another year. I do like this map. It is really nice map. I know that Cavalier is planning to update the map so that it has the new fill types in it for some of the new productions and stuff, so you can sell them if you make them, which is cool. I assume that we are going to start seeing mods that make use of them, you know, like the production chains and stuff. I think I'd be surprised if we don't, assuming that we can, that modders can, not we. I'm not going to make a soup factory or a crisp factory. Sorry to disappoint you, if that does disappoint you. So horseplay, the expansion, I've had a quick play with it. It doesn't play nicely with the boxing harvesters because it doesn't really seem to register when the box is full, so I assume that needs an update. It works okay with the self-propelled and the pull behind. Auto drive is more of a challenge. Yeah, I didn't have much luck getting auto drive to work. I found the things that I played with that helped were increasing the offset significantly on the karting tractor. So I think it starts by default at 0.2 of a meter. Increasing it to about a meter helped, but it wasn't great. So yeah, something to bear in mind. And someone did ask me to do a video on it, so I was doing a little bit of testing and stuff beforehand, and I think both mods may need an update to support it properly. Or someone on the auto drive front, someone who understands some of the settings better than I do. Anyhow, that's done, and actually we've done pretty well. We've only got a quarter of a baler full, so happy with that. Let's go get the cows moved, and I'm going to go for a run then. So the plan is 7 miles. We'll see how we do. I am exceptionally slow. So it does take me a while. We need to turn around. Let's do that. This junction is a bit too narrow to swing out of that field. I guess we could take a piece of hedge out. But I quite like the hedges, apart from the collisions. Not because occasionally I might have shortcut through hedges in the past, but more because in FS the collisions on hedges are essentially brick walls, and so if you brush them wrong you stop rather than, you know, doing a bit of damage. But yeah, reminder, if you think we should swap the crop that's in field 8, give me a drop a comment below. And I know I need to clean the baler, but that feels like a winter job to me. So we're just going to back it into the shed. I'm going to leave it on the tractor so that I remember. We have enough tractors, so that is not a problem. And the tractor needs a repair and a refuel as well. So I did repair it before I started because we're quite high hours, so we do need to be doing that. All right. Grab the animal cane. Such a cool mod. I can get to it. There we go. So things to remember, don't run with it. And we need the markers on. So the first time that I used it, I tried running around the farm. It went flying out of my hand and went underground. It's bad. So 84 cows to move. Let's move them all in to the trailer. And nicely, I brought them all in batches of 12 by the looks of it. Well, I brought the first few in batches of 12 and the rest are offspring. We need, I think, to get ourselves a bull as well. Why didn't that work? We missed some. There we go. Yeah, I think we need to get ourselves a bull to save us some money on vet fees. And we do have some whatever they are, young bulls in our calf pen, but obviously maybe not the best way to. Oh, we need to clean them out as well. So yeah, I think we get ourselves a bull as well. There, have patience with this. Go slowly, because if it falls through the map, you don't want to reset it because you'll lose the contents. Right, drop that down, and we're close. We've only got space for 6 cows there. It's not good. So let's have a look. So we'll split those. Yeah, so you can go in. You can go in. And the reason that I'm doing it is there are 3 sets that are at different states of 48 left. So we need to move a few more. They are at different states of their maturity. So move 3 of, let's move half of you. So there we go. So 42 and 42 in each. It's going to cause us problems. We might need some temporary storage for the cows. So let's move you and move you and move you. So they're in. I believe these are set. Yeah, they're set for automatic watering. We're going to need to give them straw and feed. And what I'm thinking is I might do some edity stuff and do it so we can put some cows in here. Because this is full. But these are full. And the other improvised shed is pretty full. So I think that's going to be a job for... Where are we on? So 27, so 80. No, they're puberty 88%. So 45. So yeah, these are not far away from producing. So we need to make some space. And yeah, I think what we're going to do to make space is clear this shed out somehow and put animals in it. I think that's what we're going to do. So I am going to sort out their feed and stuff, and I will see you next time. So if you have enjoyed this video, please click the like button. Any comments, questions, suggestions, stick them below, and I will see you next time.